If you've ever wanted to sell a course, deliver training to clients, or create a membership program inside GoHighLevel, this video is for you. A lot of people know GoHighLevel can build websites, funnels, automations, and CRM systems, but what many people don't realize is that it also includes a built-in course builder. In this video, I'll walk you through the entire process from start to finish. We'll create a course, build lessons, customize the student experience, create an offer, grant access, and then look at what the experience actually looks like from the student's perspective. What's going on, everybody? This is Jesse's AI clone. Don't worry, Jesse still writes and reviews all of the content before it gets posted. On this channel, we talk about how businesses can use AI and automation tools to save time, generate more leads, and grow their business through smarter systems and automation. Also, if you'd like to try GoHighLevel for yourself, I'll have a 30-day free trial link in the description below. Now let's jump in. Creating your first course. Let's start by creating our first course. From the left-hand menu, head over to Memberships. At the top of the page, click on Courses and then select Products from the drop-down menu. This is where all of your course products will live inside GoHighLevel. From here, head over to the upper right corner and click Create New. Once you do that, you'll be taken into the course setup wizard. The first step is Details. Start by entering your course title. This should clearly describe what students are going to learn inside the course. Below that, you'll see the course description section. This is where you can explain what the course covers, who it's for, and what outcomes students can expect. Once you've added your title and description, click Upload Thumbnail. The next step is uploading a thumbnail image. This image will represent your course throughout the platform, so I recommend using something that looks clean and professional and clearly communicates what the course is about. After uploading your thumbnail, click Continue. The final step is Pricing. This is where you'll decide whether the course is free or paid and configure the pricing details for your offer. Don't worry too much about getting every setting perfect right now. We can always come back and make changes later. Once you've completed these 3 steps, your course will be created, and you'll be taken into the course builder where we can start adding modules, lessons, and content. Building your course structure. Once your course is created, you'll be brought into the course builder. This is where you'll spend most of your time building and managing your course content. Starting on the left-hand side, you'll see several sections available. The Outline tab is where you'll organize your entire course structure. This is where you'll create modules, lessons, and manage the flow of your course. Think of modules as the major sections of your course and lessons as the individual pieces of content inside each module. For example, I might have a Getting Started module, a Setup module, and an Advanced Strategies module. Inside each module, I can create multiple lessons to guide students through the material step by step. To add new content, click the Add Content button in the upper right corner. This allows you to create new modules, lessons, and additional course content. You'll also notice the Preview button. This is one of my favorite features because it allows you to quickly see exactly what the course will look like from the student's perspective before publishing it. If you're planning to host live training sessions, you'll also notice the Live Sessions section on the left-hand side. This allows you to schedule and manage live events directly within your course experience. Next, we have Settings. This is where you'll manage many of the course level settings, such as course information, visibility settings, and other configuration options. The Customize section allows you to control the appearance of your course. This is where you can adjust branding, colors, layouts, and the overall look and feel of the student experience. Below that, you'll see Offers. Offers are how students gain access to your course. We'll cover those in more detail later, but just remember that creating a course doesn't automatically give people access to it. The offer determines what products, courses, communities, and resources someone receives. You'll also notice a Comments section. This gives students the ability to engage with your content and allows you to manage those interactions from one place. Next is Credentials. This is where you can create and manage certificates or credentials that students receive after completing the course. If you're creating educational content, coaching programs, or certifications, this can be a really useful feature. Finally, you'll see community groups. This allows you to connect your courses with GoHighLevel communities so students can continue learning, networking, and asking questions outside of the course content itself. One feature I want to point out is the welcome badge at the top of the course. This can be used as part of the overall learning experience and gamification strategy to help encourage student engagement. You'll also notice that each lesson and module can be saved as a draft or published. This gives you the flexibility to build your course over time and only publish content when you're ready for students to see it. As your course grows, this structure makes it easy to organize content while keeping the student experience simple and easy to follow. Publishing, drafting, dripping, and locking content. Now that we've created some modules and lessons, let's talk about how content gets released to students. One thing you'll notice is that each module and lesson has its own publishing status. By default, you can save content as a draft. Draft content is only visible to you and your team while you're building the course. Students won't be able to see draft content until you're ready to publish it. Once a lesson or module is complete, you can change the status to published. Published content becomes immediately available to students who have access to the course. You'll also notice an option called Drip. Dripping content allows you to release lessons over time instead of giving students access to everything at once. For example, you might release one lesson every week or unlock a new module after a certain number of days. This can be useful if you're running a coaching program, certification program, or any type of course where you want students to follow a specific learning path rather than skipping ahead. Another option you'll see is locked. Locked content prevents students from accessing certain lessons or modules until specific requirements have been met. For example, you might require students to complete previous lessons before moving forward, or you might lock advanced content until a student reaches a certain point in the course. This can help create a more structured learning experience and ensure students consume the content in the order you intended. Between draft, publish, drip, and locked, GoHighLevel gives you quite a bit of flexibility in how you deliver your content. Whether you want students to access everything immediately or follow a guided learning journey, these settings allow you to control exactly how the course experience works. Building categories and lessons, now let's start building the actual course content. Inside the course, you'll be able to create categories and lessons. I usually recommend thinking of categories as modules or sections of your course. For example, Module 1 might be Getting Started, Module 2 might be Setup, and Module 3 might be Advanced Strategies. Inside each category, you'll create individual lessons. This helps keep the course organized and makes it easier for students to follow along. As you're building the course, try to think about the student journey and the order in which people should consume the content. Adding lesson content, once you've created your lessons, it's time to add content. You can upload videos, add written content, embed media, include links, and provide supporting resources. For most course creators, the video lessons will be the primary content. One thing I recommend is keeping lessons focused on a single outcome. Instead of creating one 45-minute lesson, it can often be better to create several shorter lessons that are easier for students to consume. This also makes it easier for students to come back and find information later. Customizing the student experience. Now let's talk about customizing the student experience. From the memberships area, click on Client Portal. This is where you'll configure many of the settings that control what your students and members see when they access your courses and communities. One of the first sections you'll want to review is branding. This allows you to customize the look and feel of your client portal so it matches your business. You can update things like your logo, branding elements, colors, and other visual settings to create a more professional experience for your students. You'll also notice the domain setup section. This allows you to connect a custom domain to your client portal so students can access your courses and communities using your own branded URL instead of a default system URL. Another important area is app permissions. This is where you can control which features students have access to inside the portal. For example, you can enable or disable access to certain applications, courses, communities, and other experiences depending on how you want your portal structured. You'll also see additional options such as language settings, email settings, and chat widget settings. These allow you to further customize the experience and communication your students receive while using the platform. Taking a few minutes to configure these settings can go a long way toward creating a more polished and professional experience for your members. The more consistent your branding is throughout the portal, courses, and communities, the more professional your overall membership experience will feel. Creating an offer now that the course is built, let's talk about how people actually get access. This is where offers come in. Offers are one of the most important concepts inside GoHighLevel. Think of an offer as the package that grants access to your products. An offer can include a course, a community, multiple courses, or a combination of different products. To create an offer, head over to Memberships and then Offers. Create a new offer and select the course you want to include. You can also add communities and additional products if you'd like. This is where you decide exactly what your customers will receive after joining. Granting student access. Once your offer is created, there are several ways to grant access. You can manually add members. You can grant access after a purchase. You can trigger access through a workflow, or you can connect access to a form submission or another automation. This gives you a lot of flexibility depending on how your business operates. For example, someone could purchase a product through a checkout page and automatically receive access to the course within seconds. No manual work required. Combining courses and communities. One of my favorite strategies is combining courses and communities together. Instead of simply giving students access to training, you can also give them access to a community where they can ask questions, network, and interact with other members. This creates a much more engaging experience than a course by itself. In many cases, the community becomes just as valuable as the training itself. Viewing the student experience. Now let's take a look at the student side. I'm going to switch over to a student account so you can see exactly what the experience looks like after someone receives access. Students can log in, view their courses, track their progress, complete lessons, access resources, and continue learning at their own pace. This is always one of my favorite parts to show because it's important to understand what your customers will actually experience after they've joined. Final thoughts. And that's how you can build a course inside GoHighLevel from start to student. As you can see, the process is actually much simpler than many people expect. You can create your content, organize it into lessons, package it inside an offer, automate access, and deliver everything from one platform. If you'd like to try GoHighLevel for yourself, I'll have a 30-day free trial link in the description below. And if you're planning to use GoHighLevel, make sure to check out the other tutorials on my channel to help you get the most out of the platform. If you found this video helpful, I'd appreciate it if you could like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.